U.S. Representative Doug LaMalfa of California has died at the age of 65, a sudden loss that has sent shockwaves through Washington and across the rural Northern California communities he represented for more than a decade. Officials confirmed that LaMalfa suffered a medical emergency late Monday at his home and was transported to a hospital in Chico, where he died during emergency surgery early Tuesday. The precise medical cause of death has not been publicly released, but authorities said there is no indication of foul play. LaMalfa's passing marks the end of a political career deeply intertwined with family tradition, agriculture, and public service. A fourth-generation rice farmer, he often described himself first as a husband, father, and farmer before identifying as a politician. Born and raised in Northern California, LaMalfa grew up working on his family's farm, an experience that shaped his views on land stewardship, water access, and the economic realities faced by rural communities. Those roots followed him throughout his years in public office and became a defining feature of his political identity. He is survived by his wife, Jill LaMalfa, and their 4 children, as well as grandchildren whom he frequently mentioned as his inspiration for remaining active in public life. Friends and colleagues say LaMalfa viewed his family as a foundation of everything he did, often crediting his wife for holding their home life together while he split time between Washington and California. Despite the demands of Congress, LaMalfa made a point of returning home regularly to be present for family milestones, farm responsibilities, and community events. Before his election to Congress in 2012, LaMalfa served in both the California State Assembly and State Senate, steadily rising through the ranks of state politics. His transition to the national stage did little to change his approach. In Washington, he became known for advocating on behalf of farmers, ranchers, small business owners, and wildfire-affected communities, arguing that rural voices were too often overlooked in federal policymaking. He played a visible role in debates over water policy, forest management, and disaster relief, particularly as wildfires repeatedly devastated large portions of his district. Supporters credit LaMalfa with bringing national attention to issues affecting Northern California, including drought conditions, energy costs, and emergency response infrastructure. Even as his position sometimes drew criticism, colleagues acknowledged his consistency and willingness to defend the interests of his constituents. He was regarded as a lawmaker who rarely softened his views for political convenience, choosing instead to reflect the priorities of the communities that elected him. LaMalfa's death also carries immediate consequences for national politics. His passing reduces the already narrow Republican majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, adding uncertainty to an already closely divided chamber. California law requires that a special election be held to fill the vacant seat, a race that is expected to draw national attention given its potential impact on the balance of power in Congress. In the days following the announcement of his death, tributes poured in from across the political spectrum. Lawmakers, local officials, and constituents described LaMalfa as approachable, deeply rooted in his district, and committed to maintaining personal connections with the people he served. Many recalled seeing him at county fairs, agricultural meetings, and town halls, where he often listened more than he spoke and emphasized shared values over party labels. Beyond legislation and elections, LaMalfa's legacy is closely tied to the example he set for his children and grandchildren. Those close to him say he believed public service was a responsibility to future generations and often framed policy decisions around the long-term impact on families, farms, and rural economies. His work reflected a belief that preserving agricultural land and local communities was as important as passing laws in Washington. As preparations begin for memorial services and a special election, Northern California communities are reflecting on the loss of a representative who embodied their lifestyle and concerns. Doug LaMalfa leaves behind not only a political record but a personal legacy defined by family devotion, agricultural heritage, and unwavering advocacy for rural America. For his wife, children, grandchildren, and the district he served, his death marks the end of an era shaped by deep local ties and a commitment to service that spanned generations.